rights, of course. So we're ready for the action. Let's check out the finals of Spring Challenge number 2.
Yep. Okay, so coming out of AromaNova is looking at that's considered a fairly reasonable keep. 3 power, Huron Boy, Smuggler, Intrusion, and Bubble Shield, but we'll toss that back. Ultimately, 3 power, 4 playables, reasonable keep was reasonable, but then toss it back and get a hand of 3 power, a banner, 2 insignias, a Jenner David, 2 intrusions, and a bubble shield. So throwing out this Jenner David on turn 2 against a random deck would actually be kind of scary. In this situation, though, I am not so sure because so you're on the draw. So if this
Depleted for
janitor,
both players. And here comes the janitor on turn 2. As we mentioned, as you cleverly pointed out last time, really just playing it for the body here, not really hoping to get any, not really, I should say, not really expecting to get any triggers off of that, any cards drawn off it, but still a 4/4 for 2, one of the best true drops you can play. And if Janitor David the First wasn't good enough, here's Janitor David the Second, and this one is going to draw a Maveloft Huntress, as you also mentioned, the one big hit there.
oh
So
well,
not a bad start for heywhyyou, but here comes AromaNova with a janitor of their own.
and Romanova's janitor is of course not going to pick up the one of 300s left in the 70 or so cards in the deck, and so hey, what you going to offer the trade Romanova? Well, here's a Silver Blade Intrusion. It's not going to bounce off another Silver Blade Intrusion. Yes, it is. So a lot of barriers going up, going down. Uh, but this time, okay. So Aromanova has the Maveloft Huntress in hand. You have to imagine that comes out.
Yeah, I think that's where we start now. There's that Huntress. Okay. Romanova get in the trash. A pair of 2/1s here. I like a Romanova's board here. You like the Huntress off the Dovid. You got the 2 trash here. You've got Bubble Shield, Silverblade Intrusion. Now, the one thing that heywhyyou has going for them is they've got the Kira in hand. Little awkward that you don't have any protection and you have a Justice Etchings, but you don't have the 4th Justice Influence yet.
Uh-oh.
So instead, going to play out Huntress. And going to go after AromaNova's Dovin. But AromaNova, being able to play their threats plus protection, is actually going to get the advantage here. And use that Silverblade Intrusion, blank the attack by the Huntress. And heywhyyou not going to play out their Kira without protection. AromaNova going to fire off that Levitate to draw a Smuggler and then draw an Akaria for turn.
So let's see. Okay. So free attack is free. Then the question becomes, what's the play? I think no, it's not the Pristine Light because Pristine Light messes up your own board
Yeah,
quite a
do
nasty
that.
way.
You might be I
Pristine,
think you're what, 2 turns away from getting that Palace lethal though. If you can go this turn, yeah, well actually going for Trickshot Ruffian, so didn't quite have the power to set up Palace quite yet. So instead going to go and get Trickshot Ruffian, which can do basically gives attack and health equal to your Justice Influence, so can do a lot of damage out of nowhere. Setting up far away lethal. You saw that. I mean, you saw that happen at Worlds. there were some backbreaking moments off of giant trickshot ruffians at Worlds.
that's for sure. That said, I'm not sure how much I agree with putting back the Justice Sigil into the market
Yeah,
when next turn you might play it and Durant Picaria and get her
yeah,
the 3/2.
yeah.
So
I agree. Also, you're not that you're totally pricing yourself out from Palace, but that's one way to really shut the door. And
Right.
tossing away your other influence means you're not really close to that at this point. All right,
Right.
Justice Etching's on the Kira. I'm gonna go get a Pristine Light for heywhyyou.
Oh boy. Pristine Light is. Uh oh. AYU
Here
with a
comes the
Pristine
janitor.
Light
Hey,
in their own.
heywhyyou has now drawn 2 Maveloft Huntresses off of 2 of their janitors. Janitor Dovid the Third coming down
Wow.
for heywhyyou. Gonna draw a Huntress there. AromaNova also getting a janitor. This is the second.
The Pristine Light is an absolute chaos incarnate on this.
Sure is. A difficult turn here for AromaNova. You can play out your Smuggler and keep up Bubble Shield. You can play out your Smuggler and your Ruffian, or you can go with a Janitor of your own. And then you have Ruffian and Bubble Shield. Okay, going to start off with just an attack with the Icaria, it looks like. Oh, and the Huntress.
So
Huntress
offering
is
the Hunter.
trade. This makes the Pristine Light a little less good for heywhyyou. The Smuggler going to get that Aegis. I'm going to draw Bring to Justice. Okay, I like that. Now I can take care of that Kira. Okay, I like that turn. You got rid of the 6/5 Huntress and you got rid of the Kira pretty cleanly. And now the
That was
Pristine Light
indeed.
doesn't really even hurt you that bad. Now back to heywhyyou, who has some interesting turns. You've got Valkyrie Enforcer. And now you also have that second copy of Maveloft Huntress that was drawn off. A Huntress going to imbue one of the janitors, going to attack.
So AromaNova finally sees Kira. Is this enough to really push them over the edge?
Might be. There's that Kira, and just gonna fire off that bubble shield right away. Protect that Kira. Draw a card. Well, we've seen lots of lots of Dovids in this game. 3 played for heywhyyou, 1 played for AromaNova, plus 2 more in hand. All right, Huru Envoy, the draw for heywhyyou. Kira, copy number 5. And then the rest of the hand is Valkyrie Enforcer, Smuggler, and Pristine Light.
Yeah.
You notice, Ilya, that AromaNova is still only at that 4 power that we saw. What was that, 3 or 4 turns ago after getting rid of that 5th power? Now it hasn't really come back to bite them here. They haven't really been able to use anymore, but still at 4 power.
Yeah, that also means they're that much further away from any of Kira's level ups as well.
True.
Uh,
heywhyyou gonna grab the Bring to Justice with the Smuggler. Does have the Face Aegis active here. All right, David the second, David the third, missing on both triggers, but Era 4/4's out, which are good, but a little less good in the late game here. Still useful, still good, but not quite as backbreaking when you're kind of in a board stall. Playing out a 4/4 for 2 is less relevant.
Right.
Right, Baby Icaria the draw for heywhyyou, but they're going to start with the Enforcer. They're going to pop the Aegis on the Kira and then fire off the Bring to Justice. That's going to take care of Aroma's only real engine and attack in for 3. All right, Huntress the draw here. Man, they sure make
I
these
have to
decisions
imagine.
tough in these games.
I have to imagine this Huntress is going after one of these enforcers because 6 in the air at 11 life.
Yeah,
That's not.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're basically on a 2-turn clock with those. And AromaNova's already used a couple of their market slots. They have Trickshot Ruffian, Vanquisher's Blade, Pristine Light, and Palace left. As you mentioned, here comes the Huntress, going to go after presumably one of the flyers. Now going to go after... Interesting, going to go after a Janitor Dovid. Getting 2-1s in the process. They come in stunned. Now, I'm no expert, Ilya, but it seemed like the 4/4s weren't really doing much. I guess is
Yeah,
AromaNova trying to turn on the gas here and see if they can try to put enough pressure.
that seems to be the case, but I'm not sure that's the correct play because these enforcers in the air are literally presenting lethal.
Yeah, they are presenting lethal this turn. So now AromaNova is facing down lethal on board. No way to answer it in hand. And just a Crest of Order. I don't think...
Crest of Order is not going to do it.
No, not going to do it.
Nor is it 3-2 for 3. Yeah, this is literally just lethal.
Yeah, plus a Bubble Shield backup. It's interesting. heywhyyou grabbed that Pristine Light. What was that, turn 3? They grabbed that Pristine Light and then just sat on it all game. Well, congratulations to heywhyyou for winning the first game of that. Remember, this is best of 3, so heywhyyou is now up a game, 1-0 over AromaNova. I have AromaNova's version here. I don't know the specific differences. I imagine the deck list must be pretty close. But here you've
Sure.
got the Hurukira deck on there. For those of you who want to take a closer look at the specific build.
Oops.
All right, and I think the players are already ready. So let's head down to game 2 for AromaNova versus heywhyyou.
Yep. Run it back.
All right, running it back, it looks like heywhyyou is looking at a hand of 2 power, a tower, Hojin Crownbreaker, Silverblade Intrusion, Kira Ascending, and Maveloft Huntress. AromaNova is looking at a hand of 4 power, a Hojin Crownbreaker, a Huru Envoy, and a Valkyrie Enforcer. So pretty good hands for both, pretty even. Advantage AromaNova on the play, but advantage heywhyyou for having the Silverblade Intrusion and the Kira.
Oh boy. So Kira and Intrusion in hand already. That's fantastic. That's that
Is the display
AromaNova
bug at
this
the
time.
top. heywhyyou just has their 7 cards in hand, not 20.
This time AromaNova has the Enforcer. So if that Kira doesn't have a bubble shield, he might not be long for this
Well, luckily for heywhyyou, it does. I imagine there's no way they play the Kira here, not with an Intrusion and a Bubble Shield in hand. They might play out their Hojin or their Huntress, but I think that Kira is going to wait a little bit.
Oh, that's definitely a wise move because with Hojin, you renown him once, he's done. With
Yep.
Kira, you want to keep her around as long as possible.
I like this play though. Trigger the Hojin, attack, get your lifesteal, then play your Huntress, which remember keeps the pump from the Hojin, so it stays as
Yes,
a 6/4
absolutely.
after the imbue. So pretty good. heywhyyou, now interesting for heywhyyou, their 3rd power was depleted. So again, instead of playing out the Kira unprotected, they're going to play their depleted power and they're going to play their Janitor Dovid here to make a play. Don't fall behind on board. Wait for your Kira. AromaNova going to fire off a Lord Stayer's Tower here. And unfortunately for heywhyyou, that's going to put enough on the board where AromaNova is now, well, you'd say maybe in the driver's seat, that they have the board advantage now and they're going to be able to keep putting pressure that heywhyyou is going to have to answer. Now, maybe just Akira plus an intrusion of Bubble Field is enough, but a Romanova might be able to just push through some damage here and start just over flooding the board.
Yep, definitely. When you're behind on board and your opponent has a side out, that's really really bad. And heywhyyou might have a lot of cards in hand. I'm not sure how many yet, but just the Dovid against active sight is not exactly making me feel good about the ability to take down that.
Yep, it's true, and that's one of the advantages of having your sight turn 4 on the play is you're able to hit the board first and make your opponent react.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. So Huntress gonna take care of Hojin cleanly. Now you got a 6/5 Huntress. Painting the draw for a Romanova that will come in depleted. But gonna Ironclad Oath, and this is what we talked about. The question is this enough pressure? I mean, it's putting heywhyyou down to 9, but is it enough to essentially ignore Kira at this point?
It's close. It's close because the palace out in the market just needs one more.
Yep, there you go. There's the palace,
Power.
and here's the painting. All AromaNova needs is undepleted power, and they're going to the races.
Mm-hmm.
Now, heywhyyou has an odd play of tower for chump blockers, but that seems real bad. But maybe that's your best play. Is tower for chump blockers better than Kira plus protection at this point in the game? The problem with that is if you spend 4 power to just make a couple chump blockers, what are you doing the rest of the game? Tough. All right,
Okay.
AromaNova wants to keep their sight around, so they're going to chump block this Huntress. Here you go. As I said, this might just be the best play. Oh, they're going to go with Curfew Enforcement. Okay, I like that. That makes a lot more sense. So now sight doesn't just win it because your units are all blanked now.
Okay, so curfew enforcement fired off. But not
All right, Ikaria going to get played out and then going to ramp. Now you've
okay.
got that 4/3 Ikaria.
That gives AromaNova an out to Rota next turn. And 6/6 flyer endurance is no joke, especially
Yep.
after these O1s have literally zero purpose besides, you know, chump block to keep the tower alive.
Yeah, what's crazy about this game is that heywhyyou had Kira sending plus protection in their opening hand. They've had it the whole game. But just the way the game has played out, it's really never been correct to play it. Which is crazy to say because that's what the deck is built around, but it just there hasn't worked out that way. Yeah, interesting how this has played out. Gonna grab Pristine Light here from the market, and that's basically just gonna take out the Ikaria. We'll take out heywhyyou's own Huntress as well. All right, chump block for a Romanova. Janitor David off the top, and here comes, that's what you mentioned. Here comes Rota Stayer's Adjundant. 6/6 flying endurance. At the end of your turn, draw cards until you have as many in hand as the enemy player. And this, unfortunately for a Romanova, does not mean draw as many as you see at the top of the hand, because Romanova will not be drawing 7. 3 cards in hand for heywhyyou. heywhyyou is able to keep their sight around by trading with a Valkyrie. You know, AromaNova had the option here if they wanted. No, I guess they did not. There was no, even with the Enforcer, the Huntress is a ground unit, so there was no way for them to get that 1 damage through. Now you can Enforcer to silence the flyer, and now we're back to the Corviat Palace win again.
Right.
Here comes the bubble shield on that to keep the fly around, but I don't think that exactly matters. I think it's still Palace lethal at this point.
Yeah, I mean, so there is 10 attack in the air on AromaNova's side. A stack of city is more than enough here to
Yeah, this I think this is just game.
put the game in
Heywhyyou
life.
has Heywhyyou has Silverblade Intrusion. So if they block, if they cast Silverblade Intrusion on this, but it still doesn't matter, right? It's still going to be exhausted,
Right.
even if it survives the attack. It's irrelevant.
I have to imagine that's what we're about to find out. Yeah, there's the Berserk attack.
Yeah. So Heywhyyou can cast Intrusion and can block the 6/6 once, but then it'll be exhausted and it won't be able to block it a second time. So this is going to get through.
Right.
This is going to get through regardless. And a Silverblade Intrusion. They don't have any power to do anything. Going to make that block, but again, see, it's exhausted, so that damage is going to get through anyway. And AromaNova are going to tie things up. They're going to take it to one game apiece. So
Yep.
we heard you, chat. You know, chat, we heard you tell us that you really wanted to see more Hurukira. So we're just giving you what chat is asking for. You said you want Hurukira mirrors all night long. I read the Reddit post that said, please just have Tuesday Night Eternal full of Hurukira mirrors. So, you know, we give the people what they want.
That's one way of putting it.
All right, let's head down to game 3. This is it. Now you can say it, Ilya. This game is for
All the marbles.
all the marbles this time.
So AromaNova, Kira, both protection spells, Icaria, Smuggler, all
Pretty good.
most of the influence, except for the second primal, but a bit short on power here.
The power's a little awkward. Their hand is better. Their units are better, but their power is worse. heywhyyou has 2 more power in hand: Intrusion, Tower, Enforcer, Huntress, and Levitate. Notably, AromaNova on the play.
So out comes Baby Icaria and immediately halted by that.
Yeah, that's a big Enforcer there. That's a good turn for heywhyyou. Now, AromaNova did critically find that power, so they are able to go Kira with protection. They're going to need some more power at some point in this game, but they're able to get their turn 3 the way they wanted, at least.
That's true, though I have to question whether or not it was wise not to burn a bubble shield just to try and draw to another power.
Just to mise the 4th power and not miss your power drop.
Right.
Yeah, it's possible. Although, what happens when heywhyyou untaps and then Huntress kills it? Doesn't feel good.
That's
Here comes
also
Tower.
true.
All right, here comes Tower. Now you've got 5 damage in the air for heywhyyou, with a 5th power in hand. Don't have any way to go to the market yet. Well, here's the bubble shield. End of turn for AromaNova. Gonna draw a Hura Envoy. Lord Stairs Tower on top. That's not when you want to see that, unfortunately.
No. Oh my gosh. So AromaNova breaking on power for several turns.
Well, I mean, it was a tough keep. I mean, it was close. It was a good hand. The problem with that hand is it's so close because it's such good cards. You want that hand, but you need to draw power for it to work. And every time you keep a hand that needs power, you take a risk.
Yep. I think the risk was correct here, but just hate to see it happen when the risk was correct and it just doesn't pay off.
Right, heywhyyou able to now. heywhyyou having their power, they have a Justice symbol, so they can play that out. They'll go to 5. And then they have Huntress. They have 2 copies of Huntress. They have 2 copies of Silverblade Intrusion. They have 1 copy of Levitate here. And, of course, they have the trigger from the Tower. Backing in for 5.
And now, let's see. Does heywhyyou elect to go with the snapshot here on the 5/5 Valkyrie? Yes.
Oh, I love that Huntress on the 5/5, which it keeps the pump again, even though it's a temporary buff. Love it.
Right. So a cycled bubble shield does not find the
Oof.
intrusion. Now AromaNova
Cycled bubble shield into a Hojin feels real bad.
for sure.
Now here's that proactive Silverblade intrusion. Oh my gosh, two proactive Silverblade intrusions. And because look at that,
Oh,
because AromaNova had 6 cards in hand, you get 2 free 3/3s for that.
right. Hey, do you see your opponent is struggling on power? No. Oh, hey, here's a pair of 3/3/3 flying revenge. What are you
That
gonna
blood in the water. Now AromaNova can use the intrusion to play a Justice Sigil depleted.
and then what?
And then what is fair? Oh man, levitate on this. This is gonna be 16 damage? 3/3/3/7. Oh, this might just be lethal. Look at this. Oh my gosh, Trick Shot Ruffian.
Yep, I think that might be all she wrote.
Oh my goodness. heywhyyou with the levitate on the 7/6 plus the Trick Shot Ruffian. Wow, that game ended in a hurry. Unfortunately, stuck on power there for AromaNova, but congratulations to heywhyyou. Well played navigating that difficult mirror match. That was fantastic. So, again, go back and watch that one. You want to study the Hurukira match, you want to see how to play it. Very well done by heywhyyou, navigating that and defeating Yetis along the way. Remember, heywhyyou was at that 3-1, had to defeat the pair up, had to beat the undefeated Collector, and then come in to run it through finals and win it. So congratulations to heywhyyou. You are the winner of Spring Challenge number 2. You earn your trophy. You will be attending the Spring Invitational in June for a chance at your World's 2021 invite. So congratulations.